Hello, everybody. Die Hard Dialogue is back. I am in tremendous spirits because my wonderful partner is about to give me a ton of accolades on how wired in I was on the Browns-Cardinals game. I'm feeling very proud of myself. I'll see what the actual details were, but I know I'm in the range. I'm also excited because the Jets did not lose last week, as many of you knew, as I predicted on the show as well. That was mainly because they had a bye week. But now we also get to go into a Jets-Patriots game, which I'm excited about. And then we also have two wonderful guests for another matchup. So football season is full swing. The Bills lost to the Titans. The Jets beat the Titans. The Bills beat the Chiefs. So in a lot of ways, the Jets are the best team in football right now, which also puts me in a lot of good moods. Jess, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, man. I'm really happy for you that the Jets didn't lose last week.
Thank you.
I think
I nailed that. I don't know what the line was on that, but I nailed that. I felt confident. And we have some great matchups, but let's get into it. What are we going to start with this week? And obviously you have a lot of things to say up front.
Yeah, I do have a couple housekeeping items, as you know, Gary. So we have a free-to-play DFS listener league for Die Hard Dialogue. Every week, the winner wins a sports card from Gary's personal collection. And this week, it is a Lawrence Taylor rookie card. So go check out Gary's Twitter, check out the DK socials for the link to that contest. This week, we're talking about the Jets at the Patriots, Colts at the 49ers, like you said. Last week, you did originally say you predicted 34-16 Arizona.
And what was the final?
The final for that one was 37-14. So you were pretty dang close.
And then you said something, or somebody said something. I made it a little bit closer, but that was my clear feelings of that. I was right that the Cardinals were going to walk in. And once again, you take a little bit of the running attack away from Baker. Like I'm telling you, This is 40 years of football watching, like situations matter. I mean, look what's going on with Bill Belichick. From the greatest head coach in NFL history, we are 36 months away from him being the greatest farce of all time.
Yeah. And with that maniacal laugh, let's welcome in our guests.
Yes,
because I can tell we have some people who maybe have a thought about that. So we're doing Colts 49ers. So we have our Colts fan, Evan Sidery, sideline reporter for the NBA. He is the Suns beat reporter, 49ers fan who just let out the maniacal laugh. That's Rich Davis, co-host of Covino and Rich. And you thought that was hysterical, man.
I broke out the Niners jersey for you. I broke out the old school Hannah. I figured you'd appreciate that. I'm with you though, Gary. Belichick, farce. We're going to figure it out sooner than later. It's situational. It was situational why he dominated, and it's done.
Look, I mean, I, as a diehard Jets fan, hate him, but conceded because of the Matt Castle 11-5 season. And, there was a lot of context with that. That made sense-ish, right? Yeah. But now we are watching, and, you've got to get into listen, Tom Brady went to the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 100 years old and won a Super Bowl. Yeah. He's dominating this year. All of a sudden, Bruce Arians is a great coach. This goes into that whole thing, right? And, look, this is a fact. If the Patriots are unable to get into the playoffs, I'm not asking for a ring. If the Patriots are unable to get to the playoffs, the 4 seasons after Tom Brady left, and Tom won a Super Bowl, and let's project this, and got into 3 playoffs, got into another NFC championship game, maybe even lost the Super Bowl, but like already with the Super Bowl and just let's say 2 playoff runs, and 0-4 for Belichick with the 2 Cleveland seasons, and even though they went 11-5, they didn't make the playoffs that year without Tom, which is a little bit of like, I respect that that's a little ridiculous, but it is what it is. Belichick's career is going to be questioned. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. No, I mean, anyway, not to make a weak analogy, but in the NBA, Phil Jackson had superstars. I don't even want to talk about Phil Jackson. I mean, he had superstars for the Lakers and the Bulls.
Rich, I would be a Hall of Fame NBA coach if I had the teams that Phil Jackson had. I'm being dead serious. Yeah. Let's talk Colts, Niners, 2 teams that are, doing their thing. Their seasons are not over, but I don't think either of them think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Colts looked real strong last week. I'll let Evan speak to that. Ev, what did we see last week?
Yeah, they look like the offense is clicking now. We've seen it the last couple of weeks. The defense collapsed in Baltimore, but honestly, Carson Wentz looks like he's back. He's not broken like people were saying. And that's a good thing for Colts fans because they paid a heavy price for him, a first-round pick in next year's draft, a third-round pick in this year's draft as well. So you have to imagine, like, the Colts are investing so much into Carson Wentz, and he's only thrown one interception so far. And that was on a shovel pass to Aaron Donald that he blew up in the end zone. So he's played perfect football so far. All he had to do is just have an ankle injury that signed him a little bit for a couple plays in the Rams game. He did not look the same in the Titans game. But when Carson Wentz is playing like this, the Colts, I think, have a chance most weeks. And then Jonathan Taylor is a superstar running back in this league. He's just a rare blend of speed and athleticism. I love what I see from Taylor so far. And don't forget the DeForest Buckner revenge game. This is what's coming up on Sunday. Yep. He is going to be playing the 49ers. He's one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. So I had the Colts match up very well here against this 49ers team. I'm actually really excited about this matchup.
Where is this game, Rich?
This game is in San Francisco.
Okay, and I'm sure you're going to build off of that statement.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that, first of all, every time I hear Jonathan Taylor, I want to say Thomas. I don't know why. Jonathan Taylor Thomas just comes to mind every time I hear him say his name. I'm like, are they going to throw Thomas in there? And by the way, when you say two teams, Gary, doing their thing, is that your nice way of saying two under 500 teams trying to do something?
Yeah, it's two under 500 teams that I feel one of them could slip into the playoffs. I feel like, both teams have things going on that can give you a little bit of optimism. And yeah, I mean, I would love to be in either of those teams' situation right now because there's still hope. In Jets land for the last decade, me and my brother used to have this thing where we would just dream that every game mattered. We loved it so much that if you could get all 16 games to matter, right? Even if you're like trying to back into the playoffs in week 16, like that would be like amazing, right? And we had a good run for a while. Then things started breaking down after the Rex Ryan era, and we started making the joke of like, just get me to Thanksgiving. Get me to Thanksgiving where I feel like there's a season. Then that became Halloween. Now for the last half decade, it's like, can we even get to October 1st where the football matters? And, with the Jets losing to the Falcons 2 weeks ago, that pretty much ended their season from a playoff caliber standpoint, which really sucks. So for me, it's October 20th as we're filming this, and both of you still believe, and you're in a little bit of a tougher spot, Rich, because of the division, probably, but like Evan was 1-4, I think, and now is 2-4, and probably given the way the AFC is, probably feels like, I don't know, let's get hot. Carson's been good, and like this is a huge game for them to go to San Francisco.
It's a huge game for both teams. And by the way, that Buffalo loss that you loved, Gary, that killed Evan, because if Tennessee slips to 3-3, that division looks a hell of a lot easier. That's number one. And the 49ers have a real tough division. This game means a lot because if they play Indy well and win, they play the Bears. You'd hope maybe they beat the Bears. Then they go in 4-3 versus Arizona at home.
Yeah.
They played the Cardinals tough. So I don't think the 49ers are done by any means. And that extra playoff team, Evan, you'll probably attest to this, is going to mean something this year because there's going to be a team that slips in at 10-7, maybe, right?
No, yeah, certainly so. But I want to say, 9-8. AFC South, especially. I mean, you can get 8 or 9 wins potentially out of this division with how it's stacking up so far. The Titans have a really tough schedule the next couple of weeks. They play the Chiefs, they play the Rams, the Colts, and the Saints the next 4 weeks. So that could be potentially 4 straight losses in the Colts over the next 4 weeks. 49ers, they play the Titans, Jets, and Jaguars. So I think by next month, you could be seeing the Colts at 6-4.
Hold on. The Jets are going to come in on a Thursday night and continue their dominance of the AFC South, but we'll get into that later. Let's get into Jess. Give us some spreads, some points. Where are we on this game?
Yeah, so Niners favored by 4.5. The line did move a point yesterday from 3.5 because Garoppolo practiced yesterday. Trey Lance did not. Obviously, like a murky quarterback situation going on. 49ers are minus 210 on the money line. Colts plus 175. Game total is 44.5.
Boys.
I have the lock. You want to hear the lock of the week, Gary?
Yeah.
Yes, I prefer those.
And Evan, you'll like where I'm going with this because I'm not betting my Niners to cover that point spread. I love an old school sucker teaser bet. I love the Colts plus 10.5 and under 50.5. 6-point teaser, Colts plus 10.5, under 50.5. So now you're looking at a close game, low scoring if it's 17-14, 20-17, something like that. no, I don't think either team's blowing the other out. So I love the 10 points.
How is Rich creating that teaser? I feel like he's getting 6 extra points, but what's he losing on the?
So I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking it from -4.5, putting it to my
So you're just going with an alternate line.
No, teaser bet. We're a 2-team teaser. You could play with 6 points. You could play with 6 points. So you go 49ers. They're -4, right? So you take that to
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. So you take that to -10. So you're giving the Colts 6 more points in the teaser.
I understand that part.
And then on the over/under, it's 44.5. So you take the over/under up to 50.5 and bet the under. So I say under 50.5.
What the hell are the odds on that? I don't.
It's like 120 to 100 type of odds.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, fair enough.
I'll go a little bold here because I think actually the Colts really match up well against this 49ers team. I'm going to go Colts straight up money line plus 175, 27-20. They hit the over as well. So if you want to parlay that together on DraftKings plus 414 odds, it's a really good one there. I think the Colts match up very well. Wentz, I think in the offensive.
Why do you think they match up so well?
I just think that Carson Wentz has clicked with Frank Reich. The offense has been humming at full speed the last 2 or 3 weeks, even though it hasn't looked good on the scoreboard, so to say. This offense has been very efficient. Jonathan Taylor's taken that lead to star in my opinion.
Rich, where and I love Jonathan Taylor. He was a Jersey boy, so I knew, and then went to Wisconsin. Like I loved that pick, by the way. Rich, what's the run defense situation in SF?
They have not given up much. When you look at, they contained the Cardinals to 17 points. They had Kyler Murray in check more than anyone else this year so far. They played that last second loss to the Green Bay Packers where they were in control, for a good part of that game. So I think the 49ers defense keeps this game close. I think the 49ers problem is going to be getting their offense going. Jimmy G is practicing. He looks like he's healthy. If the 49ers could put up points, I think they win this game, but I don't think anyone's scoring over 24 or 27 points. I think this is sort of, sadly, a lower scoring, boring defensive game.
Why is that sad? I love that stuff.
You like that defensive? Yeah. You don't like the 40 to 30 offensive?
My dream Super Bowl is 85 Bears versus 2000 Ravens. I want to see like a 3-0, like nail biter, like it's a hockey playoff game.
By the way, guys, Jonathan Taylor's rush yards are set at 62.5.
Oh, hammer that. I definitely think I would hammer that just with the way he's played the last couple of weeks. I think he's a top 3 running back in the NFL right now, just with the way he's played right now. He can catch the football too. So even total yards, he's had over 120 yards the last 2 weeks, I believe. So any total props, I would hit the over on that as well. He just looks like a true star running back. And with DeForest Buckner, I just want to hand real quickly this him going back to San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he gets pressure in his face, can be turnover prone. I could see DeForest Buckner getting in his face a couple times, causing some turnovers here. I think that's going to be what the big difference is. If there's a prop on Jimmy G throwing a pick, I would hit that as well.
Yeah, his yards total set at 223.5 for Jimmy G.
That's a challenging number.
I would say barely over, just because I think they might just try to throw it late, but that's really close.
Yeah, I over-unders on yardage is it's so tough. Because you're right, because how many times have quarterbacks put up big numbers because they're just playing catch up in the second half? So it's hard to pick those numbers.
So you're 27-20. Rich, what's your official score? Because we get official scores here, and then we got to go into the Jets game.
Ooh, let's go 21-17 Niners. That half a point hook is what's preventing me from picking the 49ers straight. 21-17.
Jess, I'm gonna go with 24-21 Colts in overtime.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be this is a very challenging game. I've been feeling pretty good. I've been a little bit hot with the other game, not with the Jets on this show. This one, for everybody listening, I don't feel like anybody's really following what I'm saying and betting with it, but let me make sure what happens here happens. This one's really challenging. I think it's a very challenging game. I think both teams are going to play their souls out, because I have a feeling both teams subconsciously, if not consciously, realize that this is their season in a lot of ways. Like, I think the Colts have a little more breathing room. The Niners are in an obnoxiously challenging division. Yeah. In a lot of ways, playing the AFC South is a real blessing for them, because I think it's a division that there's some wins to be had there. But I think this one could easily go either way.
Don't worry, Evan. I'm going to root for you when you play every other team in the division. So 100%. I got you. Okay. I got you. And by the way, one last thing, Gary, when you were a kid, we grew up on the East Coast together. Did you hate it when you got the Indianapolis Colts helmet from the quarter machine? Wasn't that like the disappointment? I always felt like I got the Colts. And in the 80s, the Colts
You're not going to believe my answer to this. The old bubble gum machine that you got the little helmets.
Yeah.
At ShopRite. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe what I'm about to say. The Colts was the number one helmet I rooted for besides the Jets, because I would get it, bring it into my room, and put the Jets and Colts helmet next to each other to represent the greatest football game ever played in the history of the NFL. There is no NFL. There is no NFL without the Jets stunning the Colts. My real life prediction is if that we had 2 or 3, if the Super Bowl 3 played out the way Sports Illustrated thought it would, 41-0 Colts, by the way, just to remind everybody, that was their official prediction. If between the way the Packers beat the shit out of their 2 first games, if the Jets would have lost 41-0, I'm not sure if we would have the NFL that we have today. I think we might have gotten one more Super Bowl. Oh, by the way, Super Bowl I did not even sell out.
Yeah.
Did not even sell out. This was kind of like an exhibition type of game in a lot of ways. In 1967, it's crazy to think the history of this league. If Joe Namath and the Jets don't stun the Colts in that game, I'm not so sold where the NFL is. Maybe they would have taken 2 or 3 teams from the AFC, but we just wouldn't have had the football that we know today. And so I think all 3 of you should thank me.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary, for football. And by the way, I think we could all agree that if and when the Jets ever win again in our lifetime, Gary will be the first person we all think of.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be the most trending topic on whatever the Twitter of the day is of all time when I personally bring the New York Jets as the owner of the Jets to their Super Bowl. So, Rich, Evan, thank you so much, man. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. All right, let's bring in Cousin Stizz. Thank you for being here, man. We appreciate having you. Yeah, why don't you give us a little intro here?
It's your favorite cousin Stizz, straight out of Boston, born and raised. But huge Boston everything fan. So let's just get right into it because I heard what you said about my man Bill earlier.
I was hoping you were off camera and weren't hearing that.
Nah, I heard that.
Let's get into it. Like, what are you seeing with the Pats this season?
A lot of stress for me personally. But
how old are you, Stizz?
I'm 29.
Right. So you don't even know what this is.
Yeah,
Stizz is confused out here.
No. I remember like right before, we had Drew Bledsoe still. I remember those. What do
you mean you remember? You were 6.
But I remember. I've been a sports fan for like forever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
Forever. I've been a sports fan. I remember not winning for sure, and then I remember.
I don't know if you don't remember winning for sure. I mean, like, let's get very serious here, Stizz. You're 27 years old. You fucking have won every year of your life.
He's 29, Gary.
Oh, 29. I'm sorry. So he remembers
a little bit.
Fair enough. I'm sorry. You remember being a 9-7 team with Drew Bledsoe. I understand. Okay, sorry. I'm feeling real sad for you out here, Stizz.
I remember the tail end of it. And then I remember the injury, and I remember my life changing literally after that. I remember skipping school every year.
Stizz, do you know who hit Drew Bledsoe to cause that injury?
I don't know, but
Of course you don't, because you were too young to remember. His name was Mo Lewis, number 57 of the New York Jets. Jess, Stizz knows no pain. I'm so happy that Stizz is feeling these new feelings because I believe adversity is the foundation to success. And I think 29-year-old Stizz needs a little of this, like, wait a minute, how did we lose this Cowboys game? Wait a minute. These are the trash Texans. Why are we struggling to sneak this one out? I think Stizz is confused out here in football.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's we've been losing tough games, and that's what, like, since the Miami one. Like, every game we lost hasn't been a game that, you know,
Stizz, you lost to Miami. Listen to your season. You have 2 wins against the Jets and the Texans. You lost to Miami, who has, oh, by the way, 1 win.
We always lose to Miami. Something about Miami.
Yeah. Miami has our number since
let's not get into always lose, you two Patriot fans. and the handsome guy behind Stizz is the third one on this screen. Let's get into this. You guys, what do you mean you always lose? You guys have 4 losses this year. That's more than you're accustomed to in a season.
Yeah, but we just always lose to Miami. Like, it doesn't matter how bad the Dolphins are and how good the Patriots are in any given year. It's just like tradition.
What was your excuse for getting dominated by the Texans and having to rally late? What was that excuse?
No, I don't have one. But I do know that the Patriots are 6.5-point favorites against the Jets. Gary,
What do you see this week?
I see us I see us beating the Jets again, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Did you guys
accustomed to that?
Yeah, of course. I see us beating the Jets again. I feel like as long as we're a 500 team by the time we see the Bills, I feel like we're in okay shape. You know what I'm saying? I really like Mac Jones. Like I really like.
Why?
Him. I'm impressed, man. He makes the passes. When we let him throw the ball, he makes the passes.
I like
Mac Jones, man.
Jess, what are you feeling about Mac Jones? You've got a little more data now. What's your gut telling you so far? I mean, listen, with all due respect, I need to be fair here. Rookie quarterback life is a challenge. But Stizz here feels good about Mac Jones. Are you feeling as good?
I mean, he completed 15 of 21 passes against the Cowboys, right? 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception.
Yep.
Like, he's being a rookie quarterback is hard, like you said, Gary.
Yep.
And
he doesn't have great weapons. I mean, like, it's not like he's out there with Kyler's weapons, or the guy Dak on the other side. Like, he's been accurate to your guys' point. And, I don't want to take away from Bourne or some of these other guys, but like, we're not talking about one of the greatest offensive arsenals in the league. So he's been they're keeping him in check, to Stizz's point, and he doesn't have all pros around him.
And we've seen him throw some bombs. So I feel like you get him some better receivers and we could be telling a very different story about him. And he's not doing terribly, right? I think he's doing pretty well.
I think
he's not prolific right now, but
he's also, because I'm always checking Red Zone Patriot stuff because I hate you all so much.
Right.
And he definitely has benefited from a couple of dropped picks. And I'm not watching him in all the games. So he's had a little bit, my guy on the other side, Zach, nobody's dropping shit. People are making, like, even you guys have, like, JC's making like incredible interception. That first pick in week 1, like, that's such a quick, the second one, that's such an athletic reaction to a tip ball. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. I'll tell you why. The Jets are closer than people think. They've come, and I think this game completely plays out on the Jets' Achilles heel. Will they come out and completely shit the bed for the first quarter again? They've been atrocious, not bad, not slow starting. They've been atrocious. They were down 17-0 to the Falcons before you two woke up last 2 Sundays ago, and then battled back and did their thing. And I don't know, both of you are hardcore fans. Something that's pretty lost in that Jets Patriots game that because Zach threw all those picks and it was a good performance for the Pats, the Jets completely dominated the trenches of that football game. We were running the ball effectively, and the Patriots were not. Outside of when the defense kind of gave up that big run after the 4th pick, and they were just kind of like, fuck this. So, for me, if the Jets are able to control the trenches, and I think the Pats have not been, again, they're not stopping the run the way that I'm accustomed to in Patriots. But again, I saw that with the Jets full game. Zeke's a real guy, so I don't want to, so I don't know what happened. But even like when I looked at some of the other stuff, like the not stopping the run, I could see the Jets going to the well on that a little bit. If the Pats are not running well, and the Jets' defensive run stoppage is extremely strong, that it could get interesting. I don't think I think the 4-0 turnover ratio in the first matchup is very glaring. And, the Texans, the Dolphins, I thought the Pats played well against the Cowboys in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, that game was way too close. I don't expect the Jets to have 12 penalties. That being said, I still think the refs love the Patriots, and we may have 12, penalties.
Okay, so how about predictions here? Stizz, what do we think the score is going to be?
What we play? What was it? 28-6 last time?
25-6, I think, last time.
25-6 last time. I give it 28. I give it 28-14.
Oh,
okay. Gary, what do we think?
I respect that. Yes, I don't think we were confused by that, Stizz. Jess?
I think 28-21 Pats. 3 of their 4 losses have been by 1 score. So I think I think the Jets are more in it than people are thinking they're going to be.
I'm correct in this statement. The Patriots have not won at home this year yet, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, no. Wow, no.
Yeah, see, that's this. You don't even know what that means. That statement confused.
Fortress Foxborough no more.
That's crazy.
I am going to go. What did I pick last time? I think I called it the tie. Or
You did. I think it was 22-22 is what you went with last time.
Or I think the Jets might do something weird here. Stizz, just for your own context, I've not been picking the Jets at all on this show. I've been picking the other team pretty consistently because I want to say what I actually believe. I think the Patriots are not a good football team. I really don't. It's weird to say. The Texans stink shit. They were getting blown out there. The Dolphins suck. They have 1 win. They lost to the Jags. They beat you in Foxborough. I don't care what the tradition says. This is this season. The Cowboys game shouldn't have been that close. You guys are smart fans. You were watching penalties and other things. The Pats were doing nothing until the end and it was a muffed up play after that pick that had the big blowout, that pads the stats and the score. The Jets have just been so sloppy that I feel like if they could play a clean game, I think the Jets will cover the spread. I'm actually pretty confident about that. I'm going to go 17-13. I'm going to go 17-13 Patriots. I just I think the Jets are still a little ways away.
What do you think it is this season about the Pats, though, that make them a bad team?
I don't know if you heard about this guy. His name is Tom Brady.
I mean, obviously that. I mean,
yeah, you've heard of that dude, right? I think they have a rookie. I think they have a rookie quarterback, which, with not a lot of receiving talent, in my opinion. I think that there's a little of the gleam off the luster. I think teams now with a year and a half in, I think it's all gone. I think teams go in and they see the New England Patriots. It's kind of like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, after he lost to Buster Douglas, I was a big Tyson guy. I'm a little bit older than you said. Those fights were over, my man. He'd come in with that cutoff shirt. The fight was over before it started.
I already know. Yep.
You know the history of it. That's kind of how the Pats were. The game was over before it started. That is starting to go away, and it's starting to really matter. But you still have – look, I thought that comeback in Houston was pretty impressive, right? Yeah. That game was over. Mm-hmm. And, they chipped away. So there's still a lot of there's still a lot of pedigree up there. There's still a lot of guys who've won rings. But I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go 17-13 Pats.
Okay, so neither team to score 20 in this is plus 425 on the DK Sportsbook.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, I think, that's an interesting bet.
Neither team to 25 is plus 130.
That's a lock.
Okay.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in. I'm going to boost that.
Boost that. All right. Lock it in.
Lock it in. Stizz, thank you so much for being on the show.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
Good luck. Yeah, keep pushing it, cuz. Jess, I got to run to a meeting. I appreciate it. We got our boost. We got our games. We've given our thoughts. I love your hat. We'll talk soon.
All right. Sounds good. See you, Gary.
Cheers.